Welcome back to Buck and Jack. I'm Adrian, and 2020's been a bit of a shitstorm of a year. To prove that, I've just spilt coffee all over my desk. I think we've just about made it through 2020, touch wood. And I've personally made it through because of you and because of these guys. I thought it'd be fun to do a little review of 2020 with the help of some of my friends and get them to highlight some of the good things that have happened to them personally and within their own watch world. Let's see what they've got to say.
Hello Bark and Jack viewers, this is Jody from the Just One More Watch YouTube channel. Hello Adrian, thank you for having me. I wore my most appropriate t-shirt today just for you mate. It's safe to say that the 2020 highlights reel is going to be brief, but I'm sure if we think about it we can all find a few watch related highlights in there somewhere. My best pickup of the year has been a Casio G-Shock. I'm sure I'm not alone in buying a G-Shock this year. A little piece of certainty on your wrist in an uncertain time. I bought a G5600E, classic square case shape but with a solar power module, perfect for these sunnier climes down under. My channel tends to focus on the lower value end of the watch market, and I think the square Casio G-Shock is a classic piece of design that doesn't have to cost a fortune. Another highlight for this year has been the strength of the online watch community. We've all been separated from our friends and family, we've all been distanced to one degree or another, and yet we've all remained connected to each other via this hobby, and it has been fantastic to feel that support, to feel some of those friendships more than ever this year. So, cheers to 2021. Surely it can't be any worse than 2020. All the best.
What's going on everybody? I'm Jory Goodman from the Time Teller channel here on YouTube. Special thanks to Adrian and all of you for letting me hang out with you today for a bit. You know, 2020 has been a very unique year to say the least, and that's why I think it's really important to kind of take a step back and take inventory of things we can be thankful for and proud of and excited about. You know, we gotta find happiness somewhere, right? So for me, in regards to watch collecting this year, I am very proud to say I've just received back from service the very first automatic watch I've ever owned, and this is my Hamilton 9721 LL Bean Dial RAF limited edition. And you know, my dad gave this to me when I was 8 years old. I had no idea it was any form of limited edition. I didn't care about that stuff back then. So I wore this, you know, climbing trees, exploring the woods of New England, all through the snow and everything, and it kept up with me for a good long while. That's why I'm able to say it's still one of my go-to everyday watches. 36mm stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, ETA automatic movement with a little date complication there, and the lume still glows pretty well. So yeah, it reminds me of my dad for sure. It reminds me of my childhood growing up in New England, and it's absolutely contributed to me becoming this crazy watch fanatic that I am today. So guys, we will make it through 2020. Just take care of yourself.
Hey guys, Andy Green here.
With Felix Schultz.
We're in sunny Melbourne, as you can see. We are from OT the podcast. Really great to have the honour of joining Adrian on Bark and Jack.
Yeah, life goals achieved.
Felix, speaking of achievements, what's been your top achievement of this year?
Mate, it's got to be OT the podcast. A little bit of an obvious answer there, but it's something that's a little, you know, we started at the start of the year. We're now 50 plus episodes in.
Yeah, it's massive.
And it's going great. We've had some stellar guests. Some of my favourites would be, recently we had Tim Mosso. Who else? Oh, Charlie Borman. That was a highlight for me. What about you, Andy?
I mean, probably James Cox telling the story of, you know, selling Paul Newman's Daytona.
Solid.
James Stacey from the Greynader.
Yep. Oh, any other Jameses?
Maybe James McVeigh from the Vamps. He was massive. What a guy.
Well, we'll only really speak to people named James.
Yeah, James.
What else? Any sort of, aside from our own horn tootin',
plug-in,
what have you been into this year?
I mean, in terms of watch releases, probably the new Rolex OPs, Candy Pink Dial. It's probably my favourite release of the year, which is why I bought it. What about you?
Well, I mean, for me, the watch has been all right, but it's I've really enjoyed seeing a little bit of new sort of faces on the watch media scene.
Yeah.
Jenni Elle, obviously, I think a friend of Adrian and the show. Who else have I really liked? Rescapement. They're like a newsletter, really solid insight, and a collected man's going from strength to strength. That's all that sort of stuff, you know.
It's
new
exciting.
voices.
Well, we hope everyone finishes 2020 on a massive high. Thanks for having us on.
What's going on, guys? Teddy Baldassarre here. Adrian, thanks for putting this together. I tried to drink an extra cup of cold brew before getting in front of the camera because I knew I had to compete on my caffeine level with you. But looking at 2020, it's been a pretty crazy year. Not too crazy in terms of purchases. I got one on right now, my Zen 556, which has just been on my list for a while to get that watch. Really awesome everyday piece for around $1,000. But in terms of a highlight for 2020, I had to even look back and I was like, wait, was that even 2020? It was like in January. It just seems like eons ago. But it was my watch shopping two-part series, or I'd say two-part episode with Kevin O'Leary, where we went to different boutiques in Miami. We stopped at JLC looking at their many Reversos. Then we went to Vacheron. We basically saw every different type of overseas that they had available. And he actually just purchased pretty nonchalantly a $20,000 overseas Generation 3 blue dial. And I don't even have that much confidence when throwing down $20 for a NATO strap. So there's levels to this game, clearly. Then we headed over to Longa and actually took a look at many of their just iconic pieces, and then finally looking at their Zeitwerk minute repeater, a watch that retails over $500,000. So pretty crazy stuff. And then we then closed out our day, went to FP Journe, their flagship boutique in Miami, and it was pretty cool because he actually picked up his Chronomet Blue after waiting quite a bit of time. That was actually my first time seeing one of those on the wrist in the wild. So Adrian, thanks for putting this together. I think it's always good when the just kind of community here on YouTube can come together around watches. I think sometimes it gets a little bit too siloed, so always appreciate this. Looking forward to seeing what everybody else has to say. All the best for 2021.
Hey everyone, I'm Kat.
And I'm Caitlin. We're from the Tenn And Two podcast. Thank you, Adrian, for asking us to share some of our favorite moments from this year. I think we can all agree it's been a very weird and kind of chaotic year. I think one of my favorite moments really has to do with kind of the watch industry and the media industry in general. I think you saw so many more collaborations and so much more unity in the industry. Brands reached out to other brands worked together, but then also you had all of this great content with all of the Instagram lives and things like that from brands. And it just kind of made the whole watch sphere more inclusive, I felt like. Even higher end brands were hopping up on Instagram Live, and I don't know, it just kind of made me feel like it really is just all one big community. It's not necessarily just businesses. And I mean, even when it came to the sense of all the watch media, everybody kind of worked together and really kind of created this really awesome community. So I hope that continues into next year, kind of going forward, and it doesn't just stop this year. But I think that's my favorite. What about you?
So one of my favorite things that happened this year was a brand that continually gives back, and that was Oris. They always give back to conservation, to many other things and environmental issues. And this year they gave back watches to healthcare workers, which really hit home for me as someone who used to work in healthcare. I have many friends and family working in healthcare, including my own mom. And I thought it was something that was very, very sweet and just reminded, me specifically that brands actually pay attention. Brands care.
They care.
They care. And it was just, again, it was something that just really hit home. And it was my favorite thing that happened this year. Thanks, Adrian. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Happy Christmas.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
What is up, Bark and Jack Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris.
I'm Michael from Theo and Harris.
And we are who goes first?
You go first.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I am most grateful for how quickly the industry is changing, right? How brands are becoming, for the first time, maybe in a long time, if not forever, open to storytelling and communicating to you guys, the end consumers, in more creative and impactful ways. It gives opportunities to people like me to storytell, and it gives better content for people like you. So it's just more enjoyable. That's what I'm most grateful for.
Cool. I am I guess two things. One, the Tag Heuer Carrera re-edition from the 90s outclasses anything I've seen. We do this fun thing where we're selling a watch and I say, how much is this? Kind of implying that I'm going to buy it, and Christian says, 1 sec. And then he never answers. And then I don't buy it, someone else does. So that, and the fact that we're expanding the business, and now I can get hired here full time and work at Theo and Harris.
Thank you, man. It was nice. Thank you, Adrian, for having us.
We'll see you soon.
Hi there, Ricky from Scottish Watches here. Just wanted to say a few words about 2020. Most of it you'll know or you'll have heard before, but it has been a hell of a year. But the thing that did get me through, and quite a lot of other people, has been the community. The people that check Instagram all the time, the guys that post wrist shots, the podcasts that are out there, the videos that are out there, the Zoom lives, all those kind of things. That's what was really good this year. And the fact that everyone's been in the same boat across the entire planet, and they've all pulled together. They've all done amazing, great things online when a year ago they probably wouldn't have. All the big Swiss brands who are a little bit tech unsavvy, they don't like to really push the boat out when it comes to doing new things. They were forced to jump on Zoom because they couldn't meet in person. and it's worked out for the best. We now have better interaction with brands than we ever have from the collector and enthusiast community, and more of us are working together. As you may know, Scottish Watches, Mark and Jack, Tenn And Two, we all come together under the group moniker Hotics. We do a podcast every couple of months or so, and there's loads of other podcasts, video channels that are all now working together instead of in their own, and it's really turned out for the best. So the best thing that's happened in 2020 has been the enthusiast community. Everyone pulling together and just enjoying this hobby. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jenny from the Jenni Elle YouTube channel, and though there are so many watch-related highlights that happened to me in 2020, I'm going to narrow it down to my top 3. The first one being the absolute killer collab from Seiko and Street Fighter, from which I bought the Chun-Li for myself and the rewatch for my brother. That collaboration made me so happy because it combines so many things that I love. My second highlight has to be my birthday present, which I got from this one here. I've not been shutting up about it since it has been released in September, and to me this is so much more than just a birthday present. So I am very, very grateful, not only for the watch that I love, but also for the person who gave it to me. And I'm going to continue being soppy because my third highlight is all the people who keep on supporting me and my channel and what I do on YouTube. So a big thank you to everyone for being so nice and kind to me. A big thank you to the watch fam out there and content creators like Adrian for welcoming me to this community.
It's my turn now, and I probably should have organised this better because I'm just going to be repeating a lot of what other people have said. But honestly, the online community, both you as a viewer, but also the content creators, this has become my weird way of socializing now. I chat with people on the phone, there's WhatsApp groups and things like that. When I watch content, when I listen to podcasts, I feel like I'm interacting, I feel like I'm part of that conversation. And that's really helped because Scotland's still in lockdown. Socializing can't really happen, and my wife doesn't really want to talk about watches. Another thing is seeing these really old-fashioned watch companies, these really old-fashioned, very traditional companies discover the internet and realize that this is an actual thing that communicates to the greater world. Brands that have really embraced online content like Breitling and IWC have really gone in and done some geeky stuff, whether it's a Zoom call. IWC recently did a tour of their factory. It's good to see these watch brands embrace online digital content. A personal thing that's been a highlight of this year is, and I know I'm still in a honeymoon period, but it's my Seamaster, the white dial, polar dial, whatever you want to call it. I had actually given up on trying to find a watch that would match, let alone beat, my Explorer or my want to wear my Explorer. This has done it. I want to hear what your highlights have been of 2020, and also if you've got any plans for 2021. A massive thank you to all the guys and girls who have contributed their content. This is a very busy time of the year, both professionally but also personally. So I'm very grateful for everyone who's got involved and shared their content, made extra content on top of their other schedule. There'll be links to everyone's channel and everyone's content in the description down below. Thank you so much for being part of this watch family, getting involved with this online community, commenting, liking, suggesting, feedback, all of that stuff is really grateful. And I'm not just for me, I know everyone else feels the same. So thank you very much for that. Bring on 2021, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.